Welcome everyone to the last Cromwell training session video. It's a sad time for me. Session 35.5 is where we're at. Cromwell, let's get the fun old recap, my dude.
Um, Hold on, out of character. Do
Sure.
you mind giving the recap this week?
Yeah, that's fine. So you guys all crowded around the Black Dragon as it was waking up. The Zone of Truth was cast. You guys started talking to him after the bolt of red light crashes down, and it seems like some other being took over this black dragon's body. He talked to you for a little bit. Um, he never explicitly stated what he was or was not. He played coy and messed around using the loopholes of Zone of Truth um, to cause antagonistic feelings via Clyde and Sylas, as well as Cromwell towards this creature. Um, Eventually, you guys started to fight it during the combat. Two black guard drakes, as well as a white dragon, joined the fray. They were dispatched fairly easily. Sylas then uses his Speak with the Dead spell to chat with this monster. It's also still playing fairly coy and not answering all of the questions due to the seal on its tongue that it had provided earlier. And right now, you guys are currently in the middle of creating a skeleton dragon. And this is something that hasn't been done before to any of your knowledge. So we'll pick up there. So Silas, you're channeling all this energy into this bone dragon, and as the two minotaur skeletons in the back collapse and fade into the swamp, you see the swirling mess of dark and gray tinges forming around the black dragon and its body as its spirit soul is standing roughly here, kind of next to the body at this point right now, and it kind of keeps getting pushed and pushed away as these different forces of necromancy and other beings and other creatures are getting kind of swirled into the mix via the water. And during this time, you guys hear a booming voice. Ah ha ha! My children, you've done an excellent job. Clyde, you recognize this as the voice of Bane, somebody you're fairly familiar with. Silas, this is the first time you've heard this voice. You've always just spoken to this entity via your uncle, but you are a devout follower as due to all the promises that he seems to fulfill for you and your family. Cromwell, this is the second time you've heard his voice, but first time in many months. Um, and You hear this voice booming, saying, "Silas, I will channel some power into you as we create the most magnificent creature together." And as he says that, you feel all of your spell slots drain out of you. So if you could,
My lord, is that you? Is that you, Bane?
yes, it is. And as this is as your kind of powers are surging into the wand, as the bones from the white dragon now also start to combine, as well as the two minotaur skeletons also start to fuse into this skeleton dragon. And Bane is just laughing. Ha 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 ha! We shall get vengeance for all of us. As this swirling mass gets bigger and larger. Now, at this point, the skeletal structure, as the bones and all the wingspans have gotten a lot bigger, as the bones of the white dragon are reinforcing its claws and parts of its wings, and you see the minotaur skeletons being a little bit bigger and a little bit thicker than the other white dragon, black dragon's bones, start to form and fuse up with the forearms and the back legs as it builds out the rib cage as well. And after a few minutes of this kind of long kind of process, you guys see a massive skeleton pop out. And Silas, you should see that in your character sheet, in your journal set. Um, So yeah, as your like all of your energy kind of drains from you, Silas, Bane says, "Ha ha, my boy, we finally created a skeleton dragon of white and black origin." And as you're kind of sensing what powers this skeleton dragon holds, you see that there is no breath weapon with this creature, but with its bite, there is added necrotic and acid damage. I think it's just acid damage. And with its claws, they've added the cold damage from the parts of the white dragon that they kind of put together. And
As
mhm,
as this the black dragon like raises from undeath into undeath, I suppose.
mhm.
I guess I place a hand on its skull and I say, "Well, I think this might be the first dragon I actually like."
So you feel a slight connection kind of ping into this skeleton's dragon's what you assume consciousness, and you just hear a "My lord, what can I help you with?" And Bane kind of laughs as this occurs. He's like, "Ha ha! You can finally get the information we've been searching for so long. As I can tell you, these skeleton dragons can give you information that their bodies and souls could not, as they are just heaps of information. However, do not expect it to give you detailed answers. They can give you vague and not roundabout, but not complex answers. Very simplified answers.
Very
Um,
well.
so if you're looking for its horde, you're looking for where its master might be. You're looking for who his master might be. Ooh, bag of bones can tell you all of that.
Uh, before I ask the skeletal dragon or anything, is the spirit of the black dragon still present?
Yes, and until you release the spell, it is stuck there from what you understand with the spell, and it is just in complete and utter shock and horror as to what has just occurred.
He had a choice.
Behold, your successor.
I. That's creepy, my man. Very creepy. But I'm glad I'm dead.
Well, I have no more use for you. Be gone. And I snap my fingers to break the link.
Okay, and the spirit is released, and you hear some more laughter in the back from Bane. And continue. He's just laughing. That's what you hear.
And now for you. What can you? Hmm. He said to be specific.
So what he said is
What is
I mean,
the name? Oh, sorry.
so if you read the character sheet under languages, I put a little blurb about what it can do.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "Tell the
It's only
creature."
simple
Yeah,
thoughts.
simple thoughts is the issue.
What is the name of the dragon who was your lord?
Zandabar is what you hear in your head.
Zandabar. Where is he now?
Mirabar.
Does he have any other allies?
Yes.
How many? Roughly, if you could,
More than 3.
More than 3. How powerful is Zandabar?
More powerful than you.
He kind of he raises an eyebrow, but he kind of realizes that the dragon is probably just being very brutally honest.
Simple thoughts, right? Simple answers that it can give, right?
If I didn't know you better, I'd take that as a slight that I do know you better.
It is just the truth.
What is your purpose before you died? You said chaos. Was it in general or random?
I was to kill many creatures.
What about you two? You have any questions?
So they'd have to speak through you because this can only speak telepathically.
Yeah, I would. I guess I basically acted the middleman, between them and the dragon.
Well, whenever there's a dragon, there's a horde, right? Could have some nice treasures that we could use in this adventure.
Some wealth, to steal their wealth could help us in our future plans. Does Zanzibar have a hoard?
Zanzibar does have a hoard.
Where is it?
Mirabar.
Mirabar. Oh, also, by the way, I guess as the dragon is talking with me, I'm automatically relaying it
Yeah.
to the rest of the group.
Yeah.
I'm not withholding this information.
Sure.
Mirabar.
Cough, cough. You could ask about his hoard. Cough, cough.
And what
Because
about
you guys did ask about that previously. He just said he wouldn't tell you.
Yeah, what about yours?
He flaps his wings, and he flies over here. And he says it is just south of here. And then he flies back over.
Interesting. What about you, Cromwell?
Yeah, I don't have questions at this moment.
Nice. We don't need to ask everything right now. He will be with us for the rest of his journey.
So, what you feel with the wand and kind of the energy that Bane provided you, this is going to be the only undead that you'll be able to control. You think, even without the wand, just the amount of power that you have to exert to keep control over the skeleton, and so it doesn't go on a rampage and do whatever. You feel like you won't be able to raise any more undead until this is released.
That is fine. He is a powerful servant. He shall do nicely.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so you guys are able to go find the treasure if you'd like right now.
I suppose we probably could make use of his hoard. It probably would make future endeavors a bit easier.
Sure, yeah. It takes you guys like 3 or 4 minutes to get there. And I'm gonna say you guys spend the time to actually like thoroughly investigate and try to find everything. You're not doing like a cursory thing. So you guys find 10,000 gold pieces.
All right.
And as you guys are kind of there, you hear Bane's voice again say, "Give half to Cromwell. It will aid him in his journey, as I have need of his use and his party's usefulness."
Cromwell, you can take half of this.
And I have a face of utter shock, which is not seen under my mask.
Sure. And then there's a little dwarven thrower, which is the dwarven thrower, but instead of a +3 to damage and attack rolls, it's +1. Everything else is the same. There's an arrow catching shield, a mariner's armor, which is a breastplate, and a potion.
Here,
Oh.
Cromwell, you want the shield? I can teach you how to use it.
That sounds like a good plan. And it just, I guess, out of character, in regards to taking the like shield and armor, how does that affect, I guess, like
So
the way the stats work?
you wouldn't want the mariner's armor. It's just worse than your current armor. That's medium
Okay.
armor. It's AC of 15 with a +2 dex modifier max.
Okay.
So I think that's just straight worse than your current chainmail. But you'll be able to buy stuff in the future to get better upgraded armor and all that jazz.
Okay.
The little dwarven thrower is dwarf only. It's a dwarf only weapon. So
Right, but I would be able to grab it for someone like Ulrich, right?
yeah, you just wouldn't be able to attune to it and use them.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, so as you guys are kind of like looking at all these things, it's becoming quite apparent to you, Cromwell, that a lot of this stuff would be useful to your group, not necessarily useful to Sylas and Clyde.
Right.
So, and Clyde and Sylas, you guys would realize, like, looking at all this stuff, like, oh, look, it's not bad, but it's not like you guys have better shit on you.
Yeah, we're not greedy, I don't think.
Yeah.
Cromwell,
Well,
just the
if
use
you
of all
guys
these.
don't mind, I think this would be a good loot for my group if I meet back with them. So
Take it. The gold coin serves us better than these trinkets.
Agreed.
sounds good. And do I observe any kind of like, I guess like sack or anything? Because I assume I can't carry all of this on my own, right?
You can put it in your bag. You have a bag.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
you know what? You find a bag of holding along. Also, we'll just say that. So you
Okay,
can put all that
cool.
stuff in the bag holding.
So I'll put all the stuff in my bag of holding.
So what are you guys doing with a potion? Are you
I
guys
will
probably
also
give it
take the potion.
I'd give it to Cromwell.
okay?
Yeah.
Cool. When you would like, you can make a Arcana check on that in the future, and you can find out what that is, or you can try to do that now with the group.
I already have my prize as I look towards the dragon.
I will not make the Arcana check yet. I will leave that up to probably Big In when we meet back up.
Okay. Cool. So you guys get all this treasure. Clyde and Sylas, you guys realize this 5,000 gold will be very useful to repaying Garfield with his debts that you owe him, like the favors you owe him, in the future. And all three of you now hear this booming voice again say, "Ha ha ha! Well done, my children. I knew you would be the finest of them all. Head back to your little inn, and we shall have a chat again."
You probably don't want to bring this dragon too close to any town or city. That'd probably just be very, very, very bad idea.
So what you can do here, I'll move us back over to the map real fast. If we go to the world
Yeah,
map.
I have a question, DM.
Yep.
Like some dragons, if like I'm not sure too familiar on the particulars of D&D dragons,
Mhm.
but can't some of them turn into like humans?
Yes. However, this dragon, since you are in control of it, and it's a skeleton, does not have any spellcasting ability, so it is not able to shapeshift itself into anything useful.
Yeah, I was wondering if perhaps while he was undead, I could make him shapeshift into like a human form that I could just basically make him wear like a full body covering of like a robe or something, so no one can see his face or his person.
No, but Bane has a solution for that in the future. But yeah, so it's going to take you guys roughly a day to get back to Sacomber, which is where you guys have the inn at. So you guys have a full day to like rest and regain your spell slots and all that jazz. If you want to do that here, it is like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. right now where you guys are. So you guys could rest now and then leave afterwards after you get your spell slots back, and then head back to the inn. Or it's up to you guys. I'm just saying, like, you guys know it's going to take you roughly a day to get back to Sacomber from here. And
To rest now might be a good idea.
yeah.
Sounds good.
You guys are able to make a nice, easy fortification around here. There's lots of broken rubble. You're able to make a small tent area for Clyde and Sylas to sleep in due to the harsh sun rays affecting you guys negatively. And you guys all sleep. Cromwell, while you're sleeping, you get transported back to that battlefield after the loss of your men, and back to that scene where Bane talks to you for the first time.
Whoa. This is like in my dream, right?
Yeah, this is in your dreams, I'm sorry.
Okay, cool.
And Bane looks at you and he says, "Well done. Well done. I knew sending you to Sylas and Cromwell was the right idea. So I have
Clyde.
Clyde and Sona. Yeah, Clyde and Sylas. So now I have two things that would be useful in your endeavors for revenge, which I am keenly excited to see you fulfill. Talk to Garfield. He is a friend to our cause. And secondly, make sure your group gets rid of all the cultists. We need all of them gone, or at least no longer practicing their cultish ways."
Am I allowed to respond to this dream?
Yeah, it's your dream, dude. Like when he
Actually,
first
I'm-
talked to you, you were able to talk back to him. That's why I brought you there.
I'm just gonna give Bane a nod in my dream.
Okay.
And say thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Of course, and the stronger you grow, the more I can share with you. That's the end of your dream. Clyde and Sylas, you guys have a joint dream, and this is when Bane told Clyde that he was sending a new paladin over to him to train. This is that night, that evening that you guys are traveling on the road, and so this is for the, like I said, for the second time in your life outside of what happened this night. You're able to hear Bane's voice in your head, and he says, "Ha ha ha! My right hand and left hand, you guys are fulfilling my needs effortlessly."
Now, my Lord Bane, if I may pose a question.
Yes, what is it?
I have why now? Why do you speak to us now, but rather than before?
The
Has
time is
something
right.
changed?
You have helped Cromwell grow in strength. I feel the cult activities that we are hoping to quash will be coming to a head soon. However, you guys have a separate goal that I am planning for you. You must find the different adventuring groups that are aligned to these evil beings behind these dwarven strongholds. You must find the information on them. Give it to Garfield. He will he will find it quite amusing, and he will help us in our aims.
And where are we to find these adventuring groups?
Yes, I have some idea of where they are right now. One is currently in, one second, I forgot the name of the city. Give me 1 second. Dang it, I'm so sad. That's in a good groove. One is in Yartar. I think you will find him most fun and interesting to play with. The other two sets you must find on your own, as my knowledge base has dwindled in the recent months.
And what are we to do with these adventuring groups once we've extracted this information?
Give it to Garfield. He shall have. Garfield, like I, enjoys watching the world turn. And let's just say he will help you get your revenge by pulling the strings of certain groups of people he knows and thinks would enjoy this battle.
Very well, my lord.
But fear not. You guys shall be fighting as well. You shall not be on the wayside.
It shall be done, my lord.
He looks to you, Clyde, and he says, "My right hand, how are those new warlock powers treating you?"
They are quite nice. They will do well in our mission.
Do you feel my power coursing through that blade? As you feel the dragon slaying sword shiver a little bit.
I hold it kind of triumphantly.
Ah, yes. The sword shall do us all well. I look forward to your future triumphs. Do not fail me. And your dream
Will
ends.
not.
Yeah, your dream ends. So the three of you guys wake up. You still have the skeleton dragon kind of chilling outside. He was keeping guard all night. Nothing seemed to approach you guys for whatever reason. Sylas, when you wake up, you hear Bane kind of whisper some words that you can't quite keep track of in your head, but you look down to your wand, and your wand is now glowing with this gray tinge.
Mm-hmm.
And you see some writing that you can't recognize. It is it's a language you don't understand, but you know that it's power that Bane has bestowed upon this wand to make it even more powerful. And he allows you to shrink the skeleton dragon into a pendant that you can wear around your neck.
Ah, very useful.
And
thank you, my lord.
As you kind of when you do try it, there'll be some things that happen. But he's giving you this, and you feel like I said, it's not that like you can read it and understand it. It's kind of more of like a feeling that you get inside of you as you're holding this wand that tells you that you can now change the dragon into something wearable.
Well, I do suppose it wouldn't be a good idea to just be walking around with a skeletal dragon in your midst all the time. So this arrangement might work better as I guess I prepare to turn him into the amulet I can wear.
Yeah. So as you turn him into this amulet, it turns into a necklace. And on the front is the kind of like black and white and gray covering that shows a dragon on the front. And on the back, you see the black hand symbol of Bane. I'm just gonna
Very
leave him like
nice.
this. I'm just gonna leave him like this for right now. But that's what it looks like in your, and it comes into your hand, your left hand, the one that's separate. That's not holding your wand as you do this.
Very nice. And I leave it like that because no reason to have a big skeleton dragon out right now.
Sure. All right. I'll delete him, but you have his stat sheet with you.
Yep.
Cool. So what are you guys planning on doing now?
I think we should go see Garfield.
Yeah, this seems like a good bet.
Yep. Looks like we gotta pay off some debt.
Sure. Cool. All right. So let's go to the main map real quick. I can show you guys where you are and where you're off to. So you guys are down here in the swamps, roughly right about here.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking to get over here. So it's going to take you a good chunk of time first you to get to Secomber, gather up your horses and carts and everything you want to get. I would say you guys travel pretty light, Clyde and Sylas. You guys probably just have a like horse pack with your horse, and that's really all you need because everything else is you guys have on your body. Pretty much is what I would say. And it's like kind of like a side pack that goes on the horse on each side behind where you sit. So that's kind of the extra stuff you have. But yeah, so you guys know it's going to take you about a day to get to Secomber. And then from there, it's going to take you 4 days to get to the Red Large from there.
Even with this dragon flying us?
Dragon's not going to be flying to you unless you want it to. And then it could be, you can cut that time in half.
Well, I feel like we should. Well, the only thing is we have to do is keep the dragon out of sight, probably.
Yep.
But flying with the dragon's not a bad idea.
We can fly high out of the general purview of anyone, and just before Red Larch, we could hop off a ways off the Cairn Road and put them back into the amulet.
Yeah, so what you think you guys could do is once you could either fly from here, stop before you get to Secomber, get your things, and then fly again. And you would have to stop somewhere within the Forlorn Hills here and rest the night, and then you could finish the rest of your flight to the Red Larch from there. You guys would have to do some very high altitude flight, so you guys would be cold. It's not gonna like do anything. You just will be. It'll just be a little uncomfortable as you guys try to stay away from view of other people.
Sounds acceptable.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll say it takes you guys take the day to get to Secomber. Plus, you guys pitch out somewhere in the Forlorn Hills. Are you guys keeping the dragon out while you guys are camping, or are you guys sending it back into the pendant?
While we sleep at night, probably back into the pendant. It's best not to have a giant moving around in the woods if you're trying to keep yourself, hidden.
So I think you guys would know that flying at night would make more sense, mostly because of your drow nature. So you'd sleep during the day. Yeah, you'd sleep during the day and fly at night, ideally. Like, you guys can be outside. Clyde, you have a necklace that makes the effects of the sun not as harsh, so you don't have like disadvantage on everything when you're out in the sun. But it's still not pleasant for either of you. Yeah. Right? And fortunately for you, Sylas, you don't have any negative effects. It's just not pleasant to be outside in the sun. So I would say with that knowledge, you guys would probably like fly at night to like from like dusk till dawn, and then camp, and then fly again dusk to dawn sort of deal.
I was probably just thinking along the mindset of considering we're trying to avoid regular people who are awake during the day, it perhaps may make sense to sleep when they sleep and fly when they're awake, just so it's a bit easier to kind of stay hidden and stay unnoticed.
You mean that opposite?
No, it's like, okay, we sleep during the night, we fly during the day, so like.
Okay, I mean that's what you guys want to do. I'm just explaining, like, just because I don't know if you guys ever played drow before, so.
Just like,
I'd say that's a higher chance of us getting spotted though on this big skeletal dragon if we're flying in the daytime.
Well, it's kind of like I think if we're camping out during the day, it might be a bit easier to spot us than if we were camping out during the night.
I mean, you guys are camping like in the middle of the mountains, so it's
Ah,
probably
Hide.
yeah, it's
I guess
probably
that-
not. Yeah, it's probably not that big of an issue for you guys. I mean, there are creatures that live in the mountain, but they're like you guys notice they're like orcs, giants, like stuff like that, not like people.
I
Not to
see.
say that orcs aren't people, but like they're like the more like ferocious and like um dastardly, if you want to give them that name, type of orc, or even human barbarians that don't necessarily mix in with the rest of the crowd.
All right, then we shall travel by night and sleep by day.
Yeah, cool. I'll say it's fairly uneventful. You guys stop out of the Red Larch, we'll say somewhere in the Somber Hills, and dismount from the dragon, and spend the rest of the next day getting to the Red Larch. And that brings you guys here.
Now, DM, how much money do I owe Garfield?
It's not necessarily the money that you owe; it's you owe him favors.
And can I use money to basically repay those favors?
That's what your thought, and that's what Bane thinks also, that Garfield and you can make an agreement along with. So how this kind of broke out is you guys have worked with Garfield, like, and you guys have been kind of trading favors over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And Garfield is one of the few people that you owe a favor to. Like everybody else that you guys have done business with now owes you at least one favor, including like high ranking people like the snail and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Garfield is like one of those few beings that you actually owe a favor to. So Bane just says, this would be a great time to kind of smooth things over with Garfield, get yourselves back to even, and then, give him this information. Maybe that kind of calls it even for that, and you don't owe him a favor anymore, but you still keep your kind of good relationship with him going.
I see.
So you guys are coming up from the road from the north, walking down south. Are you guys traveling by night, sleeping by day? Is that still the game plan?
I guess as we approach the town, I think we would shift more towards being awake during the day.
Okay. So we'll say you guys are. Okay, that's fine. So what time do you guys think you'd be getting to the Red Larch? Because I was thinking that you guys were flying in the evening. So the time you get to Red Larch is probably like crack of dawn.
Yeah, probably like Watkins around maybe around like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, when there's not a whole lot of foot traffic or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you guys are kind of traveling down, and I will let Cromwell take it away on guiding you guys to the right inn, one that he's not disbarred from.
Yeah, so Clyde and Sylas, just so you guys know, I made a very big rookie mistake at the Helm at the High Sun, and got banned from there, and so I'm just not allowed to go back in. Therefore, we will go to the Swinging Sword.
Which is the building with the green circle and the swinging sword name underneath. Yeah, so the three of you guys walk in. You don't see Kalisa, Cromwell at the front. You see Iran, the stable master and kind of like head security dude at the front. He says, one with the mask. I see you're back.
I am back.
You looking for 1 room, 2 rooms, 3 rooms? As he sees Clyde and Sylas kind of follow behind you.
Would say 3 rooms, and I turn to Clyde and Sylas.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right,
And how much will that be?
a gold each.
All right, I toss 3 gold.
Okay.
I give 1 gold exactly.
Well, Clyde's already paid for you.
Ah, I see. Oh, I see. You paid for everyone.
Yeah. Cool. And so he kind of rustles through and gives you 3 keys. He says, breakfast will be ready in about 2 hours if that's what you're looking for. If you're not, lunch will be served around noon, dinner around 5 o'clock.
Thank you.
You guys head up to your rooms. Are you guys planning on sleeping here right now to like kind of rest up and get caught up, or are you guys trying to pull the all-nighter now?
I will pull an all-nighter.
Yeah, I'm down to just go for it.
Okay.
Yeah. We're here for a reason. Might as well.
Yeah, waste no time.
All right, cool. All right, so Cromwell, I'll let you guide them down to Garfield.
If I remember correctly, Garfield is here. Yes.
Nope. Sorry. All right. So you would remember this because it hasn't been that long since you were here. Just story wise, it hasn't been that long. You guys are walking down the long road, past a bunch of shops as they start to open, and then you take a left here, head down, and you remember it's the second house.
Yes.
And as you're passing, you notice that the first house has repaired the door.
And I pretend to know where I'm going, but in reality, I am still a little lost.
Sure.
I just kind of make it up as I go along and hope that Clyde and Sylas don't realize.
It's not confident, right? That's the key.
Yeah, I'm very confident.
Just walking around to you, like you see a landmark, and suddenly you remember where you have to go, where you are.
Exactly. My eyes are shifting back and forth in my mask, but you guys can't see it.
It's a slow panic.
As sweat just begins to flush down his back, which you also can't see because he's wearing all his armor. Yeah, so you guys make it over to Garfield's place. We'll say it's like 6:30 after you guys are able to like drop your stuff off and whatever else you wanted to drop off the swinging sword, and make your way down here just to make life easy for me. What do you guys do? The door's closed.
I will knock.
Thud, thud, thud. Hello?
Hello, this is Cromwell.
Ah, yes, Cromwell, come in. And you see a door open, swing open. And you guys all see a man of about 5'5" height, medium build, medium stature. Nothing super remarkable about him. He's got a wide smile on his face that Cromwell, Clyde, and Sylas you all remember. And his face looks also very average. It's surprising to you, perhaps, how average he's looking. Average height, average build, average face. Like, everything seems very average.
Would I know this man to be Garfield?
Yes, yeah. This is Garfield.
Hello, Garfield.
Lively as always.
Sylas, Clyde, Cromwell, come in. I'm sure we have much to discuss.
Yes.
You, Garfield?
Yes, Clyde. As he pulls you in, he closes the door.
You've made a good amount of progress recently.
Excellent. Clyde and Sylas, as you guys walk in, this is the first time you've been to this house. You've been to a few of his other buildings that he stayed at before. This is your first time in the Red Larch, hence why you didn't know how to get to this place. And it is mirrors galore. There are mirrors all over the wall. In the center of the room, there's a table roughly 5 feet long by 2 feet wide. A big comfy chair behind that. That does look like it dwarfs Garfield in its size, how much bigger it is than he is. And then you see 4 chairs in front of that. You see a fireplace off to the side and 2 rooms in the back.
Noticing the mirrors out of the corner of my eye, I'm just going to give a little shudder. Remembering what happened last time.
I'm gonna take a chair and sit down at the table.
Sure, yeah. I'm guessing the 3 of you guys just take your seats across from Garfield. Garfield sits down, crosses his legs and says, "Okay, I see you guys are back. Are you guys here to get another favor from me?"
More like to repay a favor. And for emphasis, he takes the sack of 5,000 gold coins from his from his pack or from his waistband, and he kind of just thunk, just drops it on the table.
So he looks at the. Sorry, continue.
I believe this should cover what I owe to you.
He laughs. Come now, Sylas, Clyde. We know that money isn't always how payment works with me. What information has your god Bane gifted you? Maybe we shall, depending on how good this information is, we shall call it even, and you can keep that gold for some lovely items in the future. No?
How about this? We know the name of the dragon who runs Mirabar.
You see him get very excited. Just full glee. You just see full glee on his face. He's like, do tell.
He kind of puts up a finger, but do you believe this information will satisfy my debt to you?
It will satisfy your debt, but not Clyde's, unless you have additional information or cool things you've done recently.
The
We have
name.
a little bit.
We have
But
some.
we'll hold on to it for now until we'll see how things progress.
Okay, however you say.
The name of the Dragon Lord who runs Mirabar is Zandabar.
Upon hearing that name, you guys, all three of you, hear thunder off in the distance, and you see Garfield start to swell in size, going from his 5'5" average stature to 10 feet, and then finally he finishes off at 15 feet tall. His body kind of shaping and morphing with him. His face now no longer looks average. It looks quite handsome. You see no facial hair. He's got long, windy, waved black and gray tinged hair. And he looks down at all three of you and he says, "Did you say Zandabar?"
Yes, Zandabar is his name.
You guys hear again some like thundering in the room as the building starts to shake a little bit. And he says, you just hear him muttering a bunch of things in a language and dialect you can't quite catch. And after a minute or so of this kind of shaking and rumbling in the house, it stops, and he shrinks back to his 5'5" average everything stature. And he says, "Ha ha! Ah, that is quite great news. I look forward to the future quite much. Ooh-wee, ha. Oh, Zandabar, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you so good."
For a moment there, I thought your ceiling was going to be at serious risk.
As you look up, you notice the ceiling has gone back to being about 10 feet up. But as you kind of saw him grow taller and taller, the ceiling seemed to shift up with him.
More magic than I would suppose, but understandable.
This is my domain. What can't I do here, huh?
Alright, so would you... That satisfies my
One.
debt to you.
Yes, Clyde, my dear. I believe you owe me a favor still.
Bane did give us some information, a lead. He
Hmm.
mentioned some adventurers that we should get involved with, and that you might be interested in them as well.
Ooh.
Early one is in Yartar, so we'll make our way there, in the future.
And as you guys are saying that, Clyde, you hearing your voice, Bane tells you, tell him the name Vrokthar, as that's the name you guys heard from the Black Dragon before you guys had resurrected his skeleton body.
Does the name Rockthar ring any bells?
You see his smile drop for the first time, and he says, "Did you say Vrokthar?"
Yes.
This time his skin turns a dark blue, and you see his face contort and shift into that more of like a... if you guys know like the Japanese Oni, or like
Yep.
a Japanese demons, kind of looks like that. And he grows in size to be about 6.5 feet now. Very muscular, very buff. And you just see the like anger in his face. And you guys just feel the ground shake a little bit as this occurs. And he sits down and he goes back to normal at 5'5" average everything, and says, "You said Vrokthar. Ooh, yes. It seems that my kindness is coming to bite me in the ass. Yes, I think you will find Vrokthar in Yartar. Ooh." And upon upon all of this, Cromwell, you kind of are looking, kind of just, I don't know, what's your kind of take on the situation currently, as these three have just been talking and you've been sitting there quietly?
I guess just in my head, I'm thinking, adventures in Yartar, and I'm thinking of my group, not knowing whether it's actually them or not, but what I'm thinking about, and I'm also a little bit intimidated just from seeing all the shifts that are happening to Garfield.
Sure.
Definitely not something that I'm used to, but I'm
Sure.
I'm trying to keep a straight face under my mask.
Okay. Cool. So with that information, Garfield opens the bag of 5,000 gold coins. He takes out two. He puts them on the table. He says, "I believe this will be, we shall call it good now. You can take the rest of your coins back, Clyde and Sylas, and let's just say I'll show you something good with these two gold pieces, huh?"
I guess I take the bag back and I put it into my pack.
And so as you put your coin purse away, you see the gold coins melt onto the table, and then they start to float in the air like molten gold. And then you start to see all of the mirrors kind of start to swirl around the room, and finally, after a few seconds, they form one giant mirror. But this mirror, Cromwell, is different than what you saw last time. This one is an opaque surface instead of it being reflective back like you saw last time. And this is where you see the two gold coins kind of go onto the mirror in their molten state and kind of slide down like you would imagine a waterfall coming from the top of the mirror down to the bottom, as it just coats it in a very thin layer of gold on this mirror. And you hear Garfield start to chant in a language you don't quite understand. He seems to be mixing in a few different languages as he starts to chant. And you see purple, red, and blue kind of circulating around his body, just different lights going up and down from his arms to through his chest to his other arm, from his legs up to his head, and just a swirling mass of purple, red, and blue. And he finally stops chanting, and you guys see the biggest half orc you've ever seen in your life. Red hair, brownish green tinged skin, a necklace full of bones. It seems to be from different races. You see a giant axe on his back, and on his side you see two long swords. You see a shield strapped to the back with the axe, and you just see his rippling muscles. This dude stands at like 7'6". He's bigger than the big in Cromwell for your kind of ass chaining for size wise. He's
Damn.
very muscular, very big, and he just seems to be walking down these streets, and it looks like a hustling, bustling city. He's walking down, and you guys see ships everywhere around him. Clyde and Sylas, you guys recognize as the town of Yartar. You guys have been there a couple times before in your travels. You know it's a huge port city. And Cromwell, to you, this is just a huge port, and there's lots of water, lots of ships, lots of people around. And you see this guy walk into an inn, he walks into the Adventuring Guild. Everyone seems to take a step back away from him as he walks up. He starts to chat with the guild members, and he takes a couple what seems to be quests from the board, and he walks out. And after this, it fades. All the mirrors go back, and the gold disappears. And Garfield says, "He's there. That goddamn Vrocktar's there. He's in Yartar. If you can bring him to me, or you could question him yourself to get information on Zanzibar. we might be able to find out the other people that are running the the dwarven strongholds that seek to cause havoc and trouble and distress all around. And he looks to you now, Cromwell, and he says, "Your group is still fighting, far, far away from here."
And where is far away?
Close to the high forest. I'd recommend that you travel back to the cave of that necromancer. Spend some time with him. Learn how to control more skeletons. Come back to me. I will train you a little bit to myself, and you can then meet up back with your group, huh?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Clyde, Sylas, as always a pleasure. It's a joy. When will I see you again? Will you be heading to Yartar Straits?
I believe so. We should catch him while he's still there.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Do you need a method of transportation? My teleportation works well, or do you have something else up your sleeve?
I believe we'll do just fine.
As you say that, you see Garfield's arm extend out. And he touches your shoulder, Sylas.
Mm-hmm.
And as he does, you feel warm tendrils of power flow into you, and then flow back out. And as he lifts his hand up, you feel cold where his hand once was. It felt like you had some heat drawn out from you. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Ooh, I see Bane's been talking to you three."
Most recent development, but most useful. Most useful.
Do tell, do tell. What have you concocted here?
But let's just say he's helped us achieve some things that will help us towards our goals. As if to emphasize, he's just gonna be playing with the amulet like in one of his hands.
He's like, oh, Sylas, don't tease me. I'll give you a favor if you tell me what you did.
And like during this point, like I guess he's spinning the amulet like on one of his fingers, and on the mention of a favor, he kind of like basically claps it into his hand, and he's like, "In here holds a powerful minion of mine,
He
a
turns.
skeletal black dragon."
He turns to you, Clyde, and he says, is he lying to me?
He would not lie about this. Not to you, Garfield.
Ooh, I have to see him. And he claps his hands, and you feel like the room suddenly got bigger. It seems like now you guys are sitting in a palace. You've got like
a room to unleash a dragon in.
Oh yeah, there's like hundreds of feet in like all directions at this point. Like you feel like you're in a luxurious and magnificent palace where you have like 200 feet of just circular room. You got stone pillars you can see. There's marble adorned. You see tapestries all over the place, and then you see a massive chair that looks very similar to the chair that Garfield was sitting in previously. That is now fully decked out in marble. He has cushions placed. There's gold lions on the top and a silver wolf that's in between them. And you just see Garfield sitting there with a hunger in his eyes for this new information.
Seeing that there's probably enough room for it, Sylas he kicks away like away from the table to kind of like push the chair back so he can stand up and kind of say, "Well, I guess a demonstration is in order." And he kind of focuses his mind to basically release the dragon from this amulet.
Sure.
And he's gonna make, kind of like want the dragon to come out basically like almost like full wingspan, like roaring, like the whole spectacle,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that dragon comes out, and Garfield, you just see him like clapping, and he looks giddy with excitement. and he gets up. He, as he's walking towards you, you see him get bigger, and he reaches that 15-foot height again. Same girth, same. He's very sturdy looking now. And he,
I'd be making my way to the dragon, so I guess like almost like you're petting the dragon. Like I'm petting the dragon's head as I kind of like get to it.
yeah. So
Magnificent, isn't it?
he's like, oh, yes it is, yes it is. Do you mind if I touch him?
As long as you're gentle.
He goes and you see him kind of stroke the back of the dragon like you see a lot of people stroking like cats, with like the back of his 2 fingers as he kind of rolls down, and you just hear him purring. You hear like a purring sound coming from Garfield as he's doing this, and he says, "Oh, your Lord Bane gives me much to think on with this new game in front of me."
He'll be a most useful servant in the days to come.
I think so. You will find him quite necessary for our future plans. And he says, "Yeah, you can bring him back to your amulet. Let's get this room back in order."
Very well, and I kind of I start to channel my focus into putting the dragon back into an amulet form.
Yeah. So as it's happening, you notice like as the dragon is getting smaller and smaller into the amulet, the room is also shrinking down, as well as Garfield back. And finally, when you're back down to the regular amulet size, the room is back to normal, and Garfield's back to his 5'5" average everything lifestyle.
And at this, like Sylas kind of like goes back to take his seat at the table.
He looks over to Clyde. "All right, Clyde, is there anything you need from me? Anything I can do for you, Clyde? You know how far back we go."
You know, not right now, Garfield, but we'll stay in touch.
Are you sure?
All right, Garfield, how about you tell me what can you provide for me?
Powers, magical artifacts, many things that you guys would find useful on your adventure. Let's say I know of a place that contains dragon armor.
Okay, all right. Now you're talking, Garfield.
It'll be a bit of a quest. I'm sure you'll have lots of things to overcome on your journey, but let's first take care of that lad in Yartar, then I'll give you the information, huh?
Sounds like a deal.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you guys better catch him soon. He might be leaving. It'll take you, and he kind of does some math and said, about a day on that dragon to get to Yartar. Be careful. The guards out there and the watch are very, very strict. You may want to land somewhere a little bit far off before you head there.
All right. I appreciate the advice, Garfield.
Of course, of course. And you guys have noticed his voice has been kind of fluctuating throughout your conversation, depending on what he's been talking about and his size. And this is the first time any of you have seen this happen, where his voice also shifts. Typically, if he does do something like with magic, you know, his you'll see like magic fluctuating through his body. You'll see different colors and stuff like that. But this is the first time you guys have seen him change size and change his voice tones when he's talking to you guys from his normal cheerful self.
Okay.
And yeah, so he kind of looks at the 3 of you. He says, "Oh, what fun this will be! I can't wait." And he kind of motions for you guys to leave. He says, "I must think upon a few things. Sylas will be in touch.
Be well, Garfield. We shall meet again.
Be well, you 3. Cromwell, is there anything you need from me before you leave? Or are you just going to come back to me after you talk to the necromancer down south? Goodbye, Lance Rock. He's got the small halfling as is a skeleton."
I don't think so. Bane did tell me to talk to you.
Okay. Well, how about you get back from the necromancer and we shall have a little chat, huh?
Sounds good.
Okay, toodaloo. And he escorts you guys out of the room. And as soon as you guys leave, the door is closed.
Alright.
Well, I guess that satisfies things. Now, who's for lunch?
I can go for some lunch.
It's been a long day.
As you guys look outside, you notice the sun has shifted down multiple levels. It now seems to be noon, and you guys know that when you went into Garfield's place, it was 6:30.
So I guess we would walk back to the Swinging Sword to have some nice lunch.
Sure, yeah. And as you walk in, Kalisa sees you, Cromwell. She's like, "Oh, Cromwell, how are you doing?"
I'm good.
Oh.
Getting stronger.
Who are these friends of yours?
They are, I guess you could call them my mentors.
Ooh, mentors of Cromwell. Welcome, welcome. It'll be a silver for the food and silver for any drink you'd like to have.
All right, hand 2 silver. Some
Okay.
food and water would be nice.
Okay, she brings that
I'll do
right
the
over.
same.
Yep. She brings it over.
I will also give silvers for food and beer.
Oh,
Okay.
and before they go, I'm gonna take out 2 more silver and a nice bottle of wine if you would have one.
Yeah, she brings it up. So yeah, it's good looking food. Cromwell, it's like what you're used to with the swinging sword. Very large amounts of food, decent quality. I guess for Sylas and Clyde, you think of like a IHOP almost. Large portions, decent food. Nothing you're going to be like Michelin star rating, but really good sized portions for the price you're paying for it.
Is the wine any good for that I paid for 2 silver?
Yes, it is middle to higher class wine for your 2 silver cost.
Acceptable. As I kind of like, I guess it came with a glass, so I'm just
Yeah.
like,
She gave you 3 glasses because she assumed it was for the group.
yep.
Yeah. So, are you guys going to just eat and then head back up to your rooms, or what's your guys' game plan after you eat?
I guess we're like talking at lunch right now. It's like basically like between like mouthfuls of food, it's like we're asking like, so what's the plan?
Well, it seems like we might be parting ways for a little bit. But you've grown quite a bit in our time, Cromwell.
Thank you. I owe it all to you guys.
It was my pleasure.
Can we assist in getting you down to the rest of your party with the necromancer?
I'm not sure if I guess my party is at where. No, I don't know if my party is necessarily there, but
Yeah, no. So you know your party's not in that direction at all.
right. Okay, so then I'll go ahead and say my party's not necessarily in that direction, but it does seem wise to follow Garfield's advice at this point and go see the necromancer near Lance Rock.
Yes, but if you ever do need our services to get you there a bit quicker, as he kind of like makes him like almost like a gesture towards the amulet, just let us know.
Yeah, it's Cromwell.
Always I will take you up on that offer.
Yeah, it's Cromwell. You remember it being roughly like 4 hours to get there via horse,
Right.
so it wasn't too far.
So it'll be much quicker by dragon.
Sure, but they gotta like be careful where they land and all that shit, right?
In that case, I will say, if it's not too dangerous, I will take you up on the offer. Otherwise, I can just go by horse.
I do suppose speed has a quality all of its own, so allow us to assist you in this matter.
So as you guys are chatting and are ready to part ways, the 3 of you hear Bane's voice again in your heads. My 3 favorite men. I have prepared a gift for the 3 of you. And you guys all see rings appear on all of your guys' right pinky fingers. It's fully black with a tinge of silver on the outside. And an inscription that you 3 can see that seems to glow when you look at the rings that says Bane on it. And now you guys are telepathically linked together. So you guys can chat whenever you need to instead of having to use a spell slot to chat.
How novel.
I think that will be quite useful for the three of you. Keep in touch. It'll be good for Cromwell to learn more from you, Clyde and Sylas, and for you, Clyde and Sylas, to find out what his party is up to, as I think they might be useful in our goals and aims.
Knowledge is quite powerful.
And why, yes, that is why the rings are there. And as he says that, you feel his voice and presence kind of leave you, but the rings remain.
4 times in 2 days. I mean, that's a record.
That's quite a lot for
Doing
Bane.
something right.
Quite a lot for Bane.
But by the way, Sylas, I still have this ring from you, and this is the ring that allows me to control 1 extra undead. Did you need this back, or can I hold on to it?
I'll hold on to it. I believe I have no more use for it now.
So as you kind of feel Sylas walk further away from you, Cromwell, you feel the ring's power start to drain. Like it was using Sylas's energy, like magical powers, to help you control it. So as you kind of guys part further and further away, even just like within the room, you feel the strain on the ring.
Okay.
So yeah. Cool. All right. So are you guys spending the night in the Swinging Sword and then leaving the next morning, or what's the game plan for you guys?
We did spend quite a bit
Yeah.
of time awake, so it would be prudent to sleep a little bit.
All right, cool. So we'll say you guys sleep until evening. We'll say it's roughly 9 o'clock at this point, and you guys wake up from your long rest. Yeah. So are you guys planning on leaving now? Are you guys planning? What do you guys want to do from here?
I will plan to leave now.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll let Clyde and Sylas know. I think this is a good time for us to part. So if we can, or I guess maybe not part, but if you guys wouldn't mind giving me a lift over to Lance Rock.
Very well. Let us proceed out of town. It's still a bit too dangerous to summon something so powerful here.
Sure. Cool. All right. Yeah. So you guys head up north. It takes you guys about an hour to get back to the area you felt was out of sight, out of mind for most people. You release your Black Skeleton Dragon. Feel free to name him whenever you want. I just that's what he is. He's the Black Skeleton Dragon with white dragon claws powers. You guys fly out. It takes you guys about an hour to get to Lance Rock. It's around 10 p.m. at this point, or 11 p.m. at this point. And you guys drop Cromwell off right outside the Necromancer's Cave entrance, which I will bring you guys to in just a second. Oh, did I? I think I archived it. Give me a second. Alright, cool. Brought it back. I'm gonna have to fix a lot of stuff, I think. That's okay. Give me a second.
Alright.
I'll get you guys on here shortly. So I'm guessing that plays out. Cool. You guys can all see each other, right?
Yes.
Excellent. Cool. All right. Yeah. So you've been dropped off. What do you guys say as your final farewell?
Well, I do suppose this is until next time, Cromwell.
Yeah. I give him like one of those forearm handshakes.
I will return the forearm handshake.
And while this is happening, I put like a hand on his shoulder.
Okay.
And I'll also say thank you again for teaching me so much, but I'm sure we'll keep in touch.
We shall be in touch. But do watch yourself. The world is a dangerous place.
Will do.
Okay.
Do we ride off on the dragons?
Yeah, that's what you guys want to do. You ride off with the dragon on your way to Yartar. You guys still estimate it's going to take you guys the entire night to get there. you guys leave. Here, I'll let you guys kind of follow along on what Cromwell's up to right now, just because I feel like it'd be boring for you guys to see straight up blank screen. So just follow along with him as he kind of walks through the cave. Cromwell, you feel a tug in your what seems like in your arms to kind of move forward into the cave. And as you kind of walk through, you can just chill somewhere over there. See this dude kind of come in. Can you guys see Cromwell and Sylas? Can you guys see into this cave room?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. So you see the same dude, Oriath, walk up to Cromwell. He seems a bit down in the dumps. He was fairly chipper, if you want to call it that, for his like awkward self last time you saw him months ago, or it's been a couple weeks I think since you seeing him last. And he says, Cromwell, welcome. I was told you were coming.
What's wrong with you?
It's been quite difficult. Yeah, just come in and we'll have a talk. So he brings you back in. I'm just gonna move all of you guys at once. Give me a second. Make my life a lot easier if I just do that. And you guys see this kind of stone table here that he kind of motions for you guys to kind of sit down at over here. Or sorry, yeah, you two are gone, but it's just Cromwell. I'm just gonna move you to the side just so you can sit in the middle because that wouldn't make sense otherwise. And he's like, Cromwell, since I lost and gave away that book, life has been difficult. I no longer feel the drive to continue to make skeletons or pursue this path of necromancy. Was I even right to think that necromancers could do good in the world? What is my purpose? Why? I've just been sitting here mulling over this thought over and over and over again. Until finally, I heard a voice in my dreams. He said you were coming to meet with me. We would be exploring the ways of necromancy and your control over the undead, and my usefulness could grow leaps and bounds, not only just in combat, but also in dexterity. As the skeletons and zombies would learn to juggle, you could learn to teach them to juggle. So many things, so many things.
Juggling's a little bit weird, but yeah, I guess it's good that you've found your passion once again.
Yes, it should be quite fun. Well, let's begin. And this starts a 3-day training montage. You're kind of working with him. Bane speaks to you once in a while during your training to give you some tips on how you need to control the skeletons and the different undead. And through this kind of multi-day process, you're now able to add your level and proficiency to the HP of any undead that you are controlling. Not like as like an overshield, but that's just their new HP value, like max HP value. And we can add this as like a on your like the right side column under like abilities and like all that jazz that you get for paladin stuff. Called this Bane's Gift, and it's the description for that. It's just going to be your level and proficiency bonus gets added to any skeleton or undead creature that you control, empowering their attacks to also include your charisma bonus to their attacks.
So level and proficiency bonus
Or
add
HP.
on to
HP.
any undead HP.
and then their attacks will also add your charisma modifier as just a flat extra 2 or 3 or whatever your modifier is in damage.
Okay.
And yeah, so you leave from there. After a few days, Bane says that's enough. It's time for you to go meet back up with Garfield. And you head back out to go meet with Garfield. You guys can all see the map again still, right?
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, you guys you head over to Garfield's house, and he starts to explain to you how the different magical creatures and how to combat them. So, do you show Garfield the potion you have, or are you waiting for Biggin? I'm just curious if you shown it to him.
I will still wait for Biggin.
Okay, because you're training with Garfield for a couple days.
Right.
Cool, that's fine. Just checking in. And so yeah, so you're training with Garfield. He's explaining to you that, like, you know, trolls, kind of like Sylas said, you need to use fire or acid damage to kill them. Werewolves can only be hurt by magical weapons or silvered weapons. He explains to you that there's a stronger werewolf that you have to be aware of, as there have been some rumors about them milling about, called the Loup-Garou. That is a werewolf that was born, not made, of 2 werewolf parents. And they are a much stronger species of werewolf, as they've been able to control the wolf aspects of them to a much higher degree. And they're much more powerful because of that. And if you are bitten by a Loup-Garou werewolf, a simple remove curse or potion of remove lycanthropy won't help you. It has to be a wish spell. Or, and he kind of laughs as he says this, if you can bring me a potion of remove lycanthropy, I'm sure I could fix something up for that.
Upon hearing the word potion, I will say, you know, I did get this one potion, and I'll take it out of my bag and show him.
Yeah, so he inspects it for a little bit, and he says, how unfortunate this isn't an impure version of the potion of antidote for lycanthropy. How to describe this to you? And so he kind of reads this to you. This is the potion. It's the blood of lycanthrope antidote is the name for it. However, it's in a impure state. So it's a clear potion that can remove a curse of lycanthropy if it's been administered before the first moon. And most people don't know they've contracted lycanthropy until that kind of full moon hits. So it's like a very tricky thing for this potion. And he kind of laughs and he says, well, someone with weaker magic and weaker alchemic powers must have made this, as I could never have made something so awful.
Being as strong as you are, and I'm trying to compliment him here.
Sure.
Would you be able to turn this potion into a purified state?
It will take me a few days, but I'm sure I could manage something. And so, yeah, so he's training you. You're able to contact Clyde and Sylas during this time. Their search for this Rockthar has been fruitless. His whereabouts disappeared from Yartar the day they got there. He seems to be traveling somewhere else, and they're still hunting him down. But you've been working with Clyde and working with Garfield to kind of master this arrow catching shield. Let me see if arrow catching shield's in the compendium. Yes, so you can see the arrow catching shield in the compendium. You can look at that. So you get a +2 bonus AC against range attacks when you wield the weapon or wield the shield, on top of the extra regular +2 AC. So your AC jumps up to 20 when people are shooting you with a ranged attack, pretty much.
Cool. And it has to be just a ranged physical attack, not a...
Yeah, not a spell attack, unfortunately.
Okay.
That's the way, otherwise it wouldn't be called arrow catching shield, it would be called ranged catching shield. So the way I interpret that is like crossbow bolts, like rocks via slings, or arrows. like any kind of like physical projectile that's not a magically, it's not a magic thing. Like even like flame arrows or like +1 arrows or like somebody who adds like ice or lightning to an arrow, like the sun mode arrow that El Warren has, that's still considered an arrow. So you'd still get the additional +2. But if somebody's sending out like a firebolt, that wouldn't work with the extra +2.
Okay.
And yeah, you feel yourself. Yeah, you kind of feel those powers that Bane is kind of channeling through you with the additional HP to undead and the additional charisma bonus to their damage strikes. Kind of fully like sync up with who you are as a paladin. And you wake up, and it is morning time, and we will end the session there. And it's been a few days since you've been working with Garfield, and a few days since you left the Necromancer at Lance Rock.
Cool.
And yeah, we'll end it there. Thanks you guys very much for a very fun session.